Hello again in this installment of Spiritual Wisdom. I'm grateful to all of you who follow me here and of this little community here on YouTube. And if you're new here, my name is Nicholas, and on my channel I talk about witchcraft, Wicca, paganism, self-love, and all matter of philosophical and spiritual topics. So if you're interested in those types of things, please, you know what to do, please subscribe. Join this amazing community, click the bell icon so you'll be notified each time I post a new video. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Now, spirituality is a key to becoming wise. And today I'm going to talk about how we become wise. Now, there's many ways we can become wise, and spirituality is a doorway into wisdom, because there's no right or wrong spiritual path. There's just the path which right for you, and you'll find the right path by listening to your heart and your inner voice. But these are some guidelines that can help you become wise, because in this lifetime we can become wise. To me, there's a misconception. People might think because you're old, you've lived your life, and yes, we do learn, we live and we learn from our experiences. But can you be young and wise? Like, can you be wise in your 20s? Wise in your young 30s? And the answer to that question is yes, because there's different types of wisdom, and many people ask, what is wisdom? And wisdom is to have higher knowledge and understanding. So it's where you've got knowledge, you understand knowledge, and you know when best to put it into practice. And that is what knowledge is. If you're wise, you've got knowledge, you understand it, and you know when best to put it into practice. So number one, the first tip to become wise, you need knowledge. And that could be spiritual knowledge, so you could be wise on spiritual matters. In my case, I'm very wise and very knowledgeable on astrology and on crystals and spiritual matters. But yes, and most wise teachers were both spiritual, so they had a knowledge of spiritual things, but also a knowledge of life. And I would say most of us who are psychics and mediums, we gap between the both worlds, between the spirit world and the everyday world. But you've got to have knowledge. And then once you've got knowledge, and as a spiritual person, I have knowledge of the spirit world and knowledge of the other worlds and spiritual beings, but also knowledge of life as well. But once you've got knowledge, then you've got to understand that knowledge. So step 2 is understanding knowledge. Step number 3, because I've wrote some notes down here, step number 3, with knowing when best to put that knowledge into practice. Like, we know in order to be healthy, we know we've got to bathe maybe 3 times or twice a week. And we also know to keep our teeth healthy, but we've got to brush our teeth twice a day. We've got that knowledge. The wisdom is understanding that knowledge and then put it into practice. Like, you've got to brush your teeth because we all, you need to eat to survive. And all the foods and beverages we eat build up plaque. So you've got to remove that plaque to keep your teeth healthy, because plaque ruins your teeth, and the germs that plaque creates also ruins your teeth. So being wise is having knowledge, understanding knowledge, and then putting it into practice. So these are the 3 things you need. You also, tip number 4 to becoming wise is you need to keep an open mind. You do need to keep never say never in life, because we live in a world full of endless possibilities. Like, if I was to say to you, and this will happen, I feel it, I've dreamed about it, but if I was to say to you, and a lot of you might watch this and you might laugh, but if I was to say to you, in the future there's going to be flying cars, a lot of people say, oh, that'll never happen, that's never going to exist. But take it from me, one day there will be flying cars. In the beginning, they will cost a lot of money, and only certain groups of people will be able to afford them. But then in the future, it'll get to a stage where it becomes the norm. All new things are challenged, and then they become the norm. And throughout history, that's been the way of things. But it's so important to keep an open mind, to listen to other people's thoughts and ideas. Still stay true to your ideas, like what feels right in your heart and soul, always listen to that, but keep an open mind. And a wise person knows what you should never say never. Because a lot of people thought we would never be able to fly aeroplanes, or airplanes would never exist, but yet they do. Because manifestation is everywhere. The laws of the universe are always working, and they're working through us, because everything that exists was once a thought. Someone thought about it, they were passionate to create it, so they believed they could create it, they took the action, and from that energetic action, that material thing manifested. But it's so important to keep an open mind, but you stay true to your beliefs and ideas, but a wise person also admits that sometimes they're wrong, but maybe they misinterpreted something, and then you remain open-minded. Tip number 5 is you always be open to learning and growing. People think if you're wise, you know everything. People usually think if someone's wise, they know everything about life, about themselves. But no, wisdom is not knowing everything. Wisdom means you have a lot of knowledge, you understand it, you know when best to put it into practice. But, it's also understanding to, a lot of wise people, be that someone, there's a lot of wise Buddhist monks, a lot of wise teachers, they understand that personal growth and development is a constant journey. And I understand in this lifetime, rather we live 30 years, 50, or however long or short our life may be, even if we live to 100, we're not going to know everything, we never will, but we learn and grow. And being wise is about constant learning and constant growth and constantly working on yourself. Always look for the message. So tip number 6 to becoming wise, always look for the message. So as you could be watching a TV show, and even though the TV show is fictional, are there a wise message behind it? Like Heartstoppers, I love Heartstoppers, I've read all 5 books, I've watched the TV series, but the TV series and the books get that message across, but gay and straight are not the only options, but we all, you come out, you don't need to come out for anyone else, you come out when you're ready to come out, and it takes time to find out what your sexuality is, to come to terms with it and accept it. We see that with Nick Nelson, but thanks to Charlie, discovers that he's bisexual, and it takes time for him to get his head around it and accept it. But Heartstoppers has got so many lessons in it. Even though it's a fictional book, there's a lot of wise messages in it. And a lot of fictional books, TV shows, they've got elements of truth in them, elements of life. And as a wise person myself, when you want to become wise, you're always looking for knowledge. So you're always looking for the message. And a wise person doesn't care who the messenger is. I don't really like Donald Trump. I don't agree with a lot of his policies and ideas. But for talking's sake, if Donald Trump was in person and I listened to Donald Trump, and if he said anything, I might not like him and what he stands for, but if he said something what was true, and he said a message but had truth in it and wisdom, then I'd be all ears. And as wise people, always look for the message. And it doesn't matter, when I do these videos on YouTube, when I first started out, I was inspired to do a lot of these videos. I was inspired to do a lot of them because there were people on YouTube I liked, they inspired me, and I felt my angels and guides were encouraging me to do this, because there's a lot of misconceptions about witchcraft, about spirituality, and on here on my YouTube channel I try to shed a light on those misconceptions, share my knowledge and what I've learned. But to me it doesn't matter if a lot of you follow me here, some of you like me, some of you won't, and even some of you new here, but to me it doesn't matter if I'm liked or disliked. To me what really matters, if you who watch me here, the message I'm telling you resonates with you and makes sense, and the knowledge resonates. Because a wise person does not speak to be liked, they speak to give a message, and as a wise person you've always got to look for the message. Number 7, the 7th tip to becoming wise is always listen to your intuition. We all have intuition. We all feel it differently. Some of us, I feel it as a strong feeling in my heart, my gut. It's like my heart and gut are in alignment, and it's an overwhelming feeling. But it's a feeling I get, I might meet someone today, or something good or bad will happen. Some people get it a strong feeling in their bones. It's more than just a gut feeling, but we all have intuition, and it's like a deep feeling. It doesn't come from fear, worry, or stress. It's just a feeling that may be subtle or maybe overwhelming, but it doesn't go away. And in order to become wise, you've got to listen to your intuition. And that's why meditation is so beneficial, because when we meditate, we connect to our inner voice and we go into the inner world. And then when we meditate, the voice of spirit, the voice of the universe gets louder, and our angels and guides, they communicate with us through our intuition. And tip number 8 is practice the sacred art of meditation. So that's the 8th tip to becoming wise, to practice the art of meditation. Because when we meditate, this helps with stress, it helps relax our mind, it helps with sleep. And also we can meditate on crystals, we can meditate with our angels and guides. And one of the best ways to connect with our angels and guides is meditation, because the voice inside, the voice of spirit, gets louder in meditation, and then we're able to hear our angels and guides what they want to tell us through the art of meditation. Another great way to use meditation is before you make a decision, meditate on that decision. Like you could be presented with 2 ideas or 3 suggestions, but meditate on it. What one do you feel you should do? Some people will be in a crossroads in their life because they're in a relationship, and they might ask themselves, am I in the right relationship? Should I stay in this relationship? Should I leave this person? Now, there are signs to show if this is healthy or unhealthy, but the best thing to listen to is your inner voice. And when you meditate, your inner voice is going to say, this is the right relationship for you, or it's not. There'll also be signs that you should pay attention to, like red flags or warning signs. But also there'll be signs which show maybe this relationship's not bad, but it's not for you. But your intuition is always telling you something, and listening to your inner voice can really help you there. And to me, spirituality is a gateway into becoming wise. And also, many people who become wise follow a spiritual path that feels right to them. And we all have sort of teachers and mentors what are our spirit guides. And by working with them, they can help us on our life journey, and they can help us become wise. So as always, these are 8 tips to becoming wise. I hope they help you in your journey. I hope they resonate. Until next time, stay safe, stay magical and witchy. Blessed be.